just so happens for this piece, I've got a big one and you've got a small one. If you were over there, you'd have a big one, and if I was here, I'd have a small one. This time I've got a big one, you've got a small one. What are you complaining about?
You can't follow that, can you?
He just went out and he took his chair with him because he was lonely out there. That was the reason for the chair. And the chair went out because he wanted someone with him, wanted somebody alongside him.
Yes, needing some support in case he collapses, I suppose.
No. Riff-raff.
And when it had been on the left-hand side and he'd been leaning on it, he'd say sometimes, we'll have a change of scenery, and would move it round to the other side. He used to bring the audience down.
Have a change of scenery? No, I mean, I could... Sweating like a dray horse. No, I mean...
Because he had to stand in that way to be his camp self.
No, you see, the thing is... No, listen. Now, isn't this for the muck on air? And the muck on air. No, I was wrong. For the muck here. Are you...
The catchphrases, which every comedian relies upon, were there with Larry from early on, but they were all said. They weren't dreamt up by him.
What a gay day.
What a gay day, yes. Well, that was a novelty at the time. Not anymore.
He seems like a nice boy, doesn't he?
Seems like a nice boy. Yeah, and everybody kind of adopted it, I suppose.
Jack Parnell, I did reproach, but I'm sure he's got my brooch.
I'm sure he's got my brooch, which he used to do nearly every week. It implies some kind of rivalry with something going on there, you know.
And in the case of Shut That Door...
Shut that door!
Which was an agent of his, who, if there was a draft in the theatre and she was talking to him backstage, would shout, "Shut that door!" immediately. And Larry just thought it was so funny and picked it up.
You know it's going to be coming and you wait for it. When it does come, it still makes you laugh. And then he might say it 4 times on the trot and it'll still make you laugh again.
But I tell you this, shut that door. Draft is wicked. Now, the thing is, you see...
Shut that door implies that he's delicate. You know, it's a very camp catchphrase.
Shut that door, it's freezing cold in here. Shut that door, I'm feeling rather queer.
Funny enough, Shut That Door is one of my least favourite now, although I enjoyed it at the time.
On the other side of the record, it's all about Slack Alice. Everard's livid.
What I really liked about him was that whole cast of characters that were never seen and always talked about.
Apricot Lil worked in the jam factory in Nuneaton.
And Apricot Lil, of course, she's fell in altogether, Apricot Lil.
Perhaps her name wasn't Apricot Lil, but she certainly worked on the Apricot track, and she existed, and Larry used to listen to everything that she said.
But she said, you must beware, because I've got 3 women coming from the jam factory for a spiritualist meeting, she said.
And he was staying in with landlady, whose son was Everard, and Larry thought, he's going to thank you in years to come for giving him that name.
I was sitting there, you see, and there came this knock on my knocker. And come in, I cried, it was Everard. When he came in, he is wet, and he came in.
As a 12-year-old boy, I didn't get all of the, you know, Everard, Everhard. It didn't occur to me that that was a reference. But I knew it was funny.
Well, I said, I've got a tent. He said, well, do you know anyone that has? I said, yes. I said, I'll ring my friend, Everard. So...
One thing Larry had, and again he had tuned it to a degree of perfection, he had an amber light. And he knew and he sensed when he was going too far, and the amber light came on.
Well, since Slack Alice heard the record, she'd never been sober. She'd never been sober. I thought she's out all the time. No, she'll be in the cock and trumpet tonight with her legs up. She will. She wears a miniskirt. She does. She wears a miniskirt. The top of her legs are like 2 bolsters.
I could see it in a clip when he starts talking about the record he's made, and Slack Alice is on the B-side, and she's been drunk ever since, and she'll have her red hat on tonight, which seemed to imply something other than wearing a red hat.
Yes. Oh, she'll have a red hat on tonight, all right. It's gone to her head, you see. Anyway.
You could see him kind of check himself there, which maybe he wouldn't have done if he wasn't in a television studio.
Don't keep doing that, Bruce, and that I know. I know we're live. All right, Flash, don't get yourself an uproar.
What it perhaps is a mischief, and it's something that makes us laugh, and we don't quite know why. It's slightly naughty.
She said, oh, yes, it's all here. She said, something very big's coming your way. Oh. Yes, she said, you'll sleep in many beds, she said. And you'll never want again. Well, just then...
I'll tell you the surprising thing is that the miners at the Chapel End Club in Nuneaton, they loved him. They thought it was the funniest thing out. It was virtually an all-male club.
How does a sort of working, tough, say, a stevedore audience, or a docker's audience, how does it react to that?
To me, Terry. You know, they say, like, all right, Larry, great, my mother loves you. All right. They laugh, you see, like, they go, oh, Larry, what a gay day, and all that. And it's done like, it's done for fun.
People of the stature of Grayson and Kenny Williams and people, I mean, they were so good that you couldn't help but laugh. You know, you weren't offended. There was nothing there getting at your matchiness. It was just funny, it was just silly, and it was... I mean, in the case of Grayson and Williams, I mean, they were just very clever guys.
Ready? Just a minute, just a moment, just a moment. What's the matter with this? You may very well say, oh dear.
I remember when I used to see comedians who I now would consider camp, like, say, Larry Grayson, I never used to laugh at them having the limp wrist and doing the Everard and all shut that door. But I think overall it was just a sort of, you felt quite affectionate towards them. I always did. I thought, you know, I liked this person.
I think you're lovely, I do. I do, honestly. You're not bad either.
He did a lot of I love you very much stuff, which also seemed very, very genuine.
I love you very much, and God bless you. That's all.
And, of course, we loved him very much. In fact, Larry boosted the audience of happy families watching the Generation Game to 18 million, during a decade which sparkled with camp, like a pair of Pan's People's sequined flares.